I did that.
I don't really want to flip.
I could have not flipped the kayak.
I don't want to flip my kayak because I got stuff in it.
Welcome back to JZFishing, and today we might die on a kayak. Just kidding, we're not going to die, but we are going to try and get a 2.5 hour safety course on kayaking, and you guys are going to experience it with us. Let's get into it.
Real quick before we get too far in today's video, I just want to say if you are here right now, please go down into the description box below and hit the subscribe button. It's completely free and helps us out so much more than you would think. The number one way to support us is to subscribe and to click the notification bell. So before you continue watching this video, pause, I'll wait, go subscribe. Thanks. Now before this video gets too far too, I want to say that this was all filmed by Zach on his GoPro. So good job, Zach, for filming all of this. Without you and your GoPro, we would not have been able to do this. Even though this is me voicing over, Zach did record all of this footage. We started the day off in this small little patio away from the water after finally getting all fully kitted up with wetsuits, life jackets, and windbreakers. We got some paddles and we learned some basic tips and tricks to make sure that your paddling was most efficient and you wouldn't get injured. This was actually one of the most helpful parts of the course because you got to really understand how to paddle and the best ways to do it safely. After learning all the things and all the strokes we needed to learn on land, it was finally time to get out on the water, on the kayaks, and use the skills that we learned on the land and take them into the water. We got into this little launch, as you can see here. One of the really cool parts of the SeaTrek area is they have this really nice launch inside this really calm marina. All three of us were using 13-foot ocean kayaks. They believe they were called the Prowler 13s. All were very stable and were very comfortable to paddle in. As you can see, we started launching here, and one of the most important things in this part was learning how to get onto your kayak through this launch system and doing it by yourself successfully.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
Okay.
In this clip here, you see that we're nice little time lapse as we kind of go along the Sausalito marinas into a little tucked away beach public launch area where we're going to do the majority of our lesson. As you can tell, this video is a little bit shaky. Once again, this is our very first time doing this. As we continuously do this, this will get better and our camera quality will get a lot better. So hopefully these videos will improve within the next couple of weeks and months. So stay tuned for those. Once we got into the marina, we did some basic stuffs, practicing our turns, paddle movements, more intermediate, beginner paddle movements, and then once we were able to successfully complete those, we talked a little bit about beach launching from this tiny little beach. Very minimal stuff. If you were to learn more about beach launching, or if you were interested in that kind of stuff, I would highly suggest taking their sea kayaking class, but we'll talk about that later in today's video. And once we did all this simple stuff, we did a little talking about tides and all that good stuff. And then finally, it was time to learn how to do some rescue / falling out of your kayak and getting back in. All right, so Jack went first in terms of getting out of the kayak and getting back in. And one of the things that Jack did was he flipped his kayak when getting out, which can be an upside and a downside. Realistically, it would have been probably better if he had flipped on the second time and not his very first time doing it, because flipping this big kayak was an issue. However, this might be a situation that you run into when you're out in the water, so it was relatively realistic. Originally, he had some trouble flipping the kayak back over, but he soon enough got it. And once he got it, he was easily able to sling himself back onto the kayak into safety. Nice job, Jack. Finally, next up, it's my turn. As you can see in this clip, as I was exiting the kayak, I was lucky enough not to flip the kayak, so it was a lot easier to get back onto the kayak after getting into the water. I had the biggest issues when it came to getting back onto the kayak and getting my feet up in the water to lift myself in. The rule that we were taught was when you enter the kayak after being fallen out, you want to always put your stomach on first, then your butt, and then your legs. This was what we found to be the most helpful, and it was the most easy and efficient way to load back onto your kayak. Last but not least, Zach was the last person to flip, as I think he probably did it the best. He was able to slide out of his kayak extremely easily and slide right back in. The only issue he had was his wetsuit was maybe a little bit loose, as he got a good amount of cold water on his skin underneath the wetsuit. After doing this one time, we then proceeded to do it another time, and instead of showing you all of them, I'm going to just show you the highlights. Right before the second time, Zach said that if Jack dunked his head fully in the water, he would give him $10. So Jack went for it, and here's the clip. After doing the flip tests, it was time to go back to SeaTrek Marina. As you can tell, on the way back, the camera's job is already a lot better. So as you can tell, we're making a good amount of progress when it comes to the camera job. And the ride back was really, really nice and relaxing, and the weather was just perfect. Recently in Marin, we've had a lot of rain, and today we got a really lucky break of nice sunshine. So I hope you guys enjoy this clip of us riding back. After washing off all of our gear, after getting back on the marina, getting into dry clothes, we went to a little bench near the side of the waterway, and we began to talk about important gear and things that we should buy and the kayaks that we're looking into buying. Gear that we talked about in this little session were the VHF radio, a life vest, a wetsuit, a dry bag, GPS locator, and other awesome accessories. This part was extremely useful because he taught us what we should know that we should bring on the water, especially here in the bay. Okay, and that was about the end of the course. Now, before you click off the video, I kind of want to talk about the course that we specifically took, the ups and downs, and why you should or shouldn't take this course. Okay, so before I talk about the courses, I want to say that our guide was amazing. He gave us everything we needed to know plus one, and the SeaTrek experience was amazing. Now, the course that we specifically took today was the Sit on Top kayaking course. Now, we were between either that or what's called the Sea kayaking course, and the reason that we went with the Sit on Top course was two reasons. First of all, it was cheaper at only $85, and number two, we didn't really have any plans of going out on the ocean, which is what the Sea kayaking class was mainly meant for, whereas the Sit on Top class was mainly made for people in the bay or in freshwater. If you are interested in taking the Sea kayaking course, it is $150 per person, so there is a sizable difference in monetary cost. Now, would I suggest you take this course? Absolutely, and I would suggest really anyone who's even getting into kayaking, let alone kayak fishing. Us specifically, the reason we took the course because we want to buy kayaks and we want to do some fishing out of them, but whether or not you want to just go kayaking for the sake of kayaking, or you're just kind of interested in the hobby, this is a great class to take, and I would suggest it to anyone at any skill level. Thank you so much if you're still here for watching to the end of the video. Once again, please subscribe. We are a local Bay Area fishing YouTube channel. We make tons of really cool fishing content and hopefully soon some kayak fishing content. It's completely free and it's so worth your money. So with that being said, we upload every Monday and Friday, so look out for Friday's upload. We'll see you in the next one.